Again, good morning to all of you. We are continuing chapter 2 for today. In the previous class, we had already discussed all the different or basic elements of Java program. We had discussed about Java tokens, and we also have covered operators. The arithmetic operators, relational, logical, and all other type of operators. I hope for today we shall continue with operators, variable data types, by giving some examples, not only in the theory part, but also in practical. So can we now move on with variables? Okay, variables are also called as identifiers. So generally, when we say identifier, these are the names which are given by the programmer or by the user. These are actually user-defined names. Variables are interchangeably being called as identifier. There are also types of identifiers. So all the names that you are giving, such as the class name, the array name, okay, and many other names like method names, all the names which you are giving are considered to be Java identifiers. In Java tokens, when we have explained it, we have said that one component or one element of a basic Java program is an identifier. Okay. Now, variable names follow the same rule as Java identifier. What's the rule in giving name to a variable? A variable can be a combination of alphabets or letters. It can be numbers. It can be underscores. And in Java, you are allowed to use dollar signs. But you must always begin with letter. This rule of naming variable is the same rule you have applied in your C++. So I think everybody knows this already. So variable should start with a letter and followed by other letters. It can be big letters or small letters. It can be with numbers. Other symbols which can be used are underscores and dollar signs. Special characters or special symbols are not allowed to be used. The only symbols, two symbols allowed to be used in variable names are underscores and dollar signs. Other symbols are used in other forms or in other parts of your program, like the plus plus and minus minus. You cannot use that as variable name because we are using those as operators. Before we continue with naming the variable, when do we need variable? We need variable if we want to save a value. Say for instance, I would like to save your name. Like the example we have given in the previous class. We have displayed only our name, but it's always the name you have given there. What if I will just save the name and then later on I can reuse the name or that variable which have saved the name? Or let's say I would like to save your quiz mark, because if I would like to process or calculate your total mark later on, I would like to save the mark for your quiz, your mark in midterm, your mark in lab exercises, your marks in your final exam, and all others which I would like to process later on. Where should I keep them? I should keep them or store them in Java variables. So in Java variables, this will allow you to save your data. These are temporary storage. So we need to declare variables if we would like to store temporary values. Again, if you would like to store or save temporary values, where are you saving that? What are you going to do? We must declare it with variables. Okay? Now, to declare variable, these are the syntax. You are going to write the data type first, and then you followed it with the name of the variable. Okay? So the examples are given here. Let me just make that big and noticeable so that you can be able to see. Can you see that? These are examples. Okay, so let's have this example. Okay, again, in Java, before you use a variable, you must declare them. Variable declaration have the form of you first type or write the data type, followed by space, followed by variable name. I'm going to discuss more of this during our demonstration in the practical. This is the theory part. So when you declare variable, you first type or write the data type. You first determine the data type, followed by space, followed by the variable name. This is now the identifier because the name you will give here depends on what you would like to say. Like that one example we have in our first program in unary operator, we have declared in X. X is the name of the variable or the identifier. This is the variable name. And the data type is in. Now, there are different data types available in Java. They are splitted into two. So I will discuss that in the later part of this presentation material. So I have here another data type example. This is non-primitive data type. I have the string and then followed by the last name. You see, is it following the rule? Is it starting with alphabet? Yes, it's starting with alphabet. So I have also another example, double radius. So I have three examples of variable declared in different data types. So I have the variable x declared in integer data type. Last name is declared with string data type. So this is the name of the variable radius and its data type is double. So after each and every declaration, you notice that there is a semicolon after that. So I have in x semicolon. String last name, semicolon. Double radius, semicolon. Okay, if you have two words like this one, don't put space in between. You cannot put last space name. That is wrong. If you want to make it correct, don't put the space anymore between the two words. So on the naming convention, the first word is all in small letter, and then if you would like it to be more readable in the naming convention, put the next word with capital letter. So see this, last name. You can also use this particular naming convention here. You can put underscore between the two names. Last underscore name. So those are just tips. And this one, it doesn't have any error at all. Doesn't have any wrong based on the rules in naming variables. So these are examples of variable declaration. So how do we declare variable? You put data type space followed by the variable name. Okay, let's move on. You can also initialize your variable. Look at this example. On this given example, it does not only declare the variable were also initialized. So again, the variable was given with which value? The variable was given with 0 value. Look at this one. In I equals to 0. Let me just change that because it looks like O. Okay, again, let me have that example. I have here the variable declaration. And then I have initialized the value with assignment statement equal. The assignment operator is used with equal sign. So I have the variable declaration here in I. So this is the variable declaration, data type, followed by the variable name. And then the next statement following is called as the initialization of variable or assignment statement. Assignment statement which assigns the value or the expression, this can be value or expression, to the variable. So the value which is assigned to the variable is equal to 5. 5 value is equal now to, or xi value is equal now to 5. Okay, so what are these two? Let me just put that in comment. This is variable. Declare first. There are two steps here which are very important. So this is declaring a variable. And what about this one? Plus, if I'm denoting or starting it with double slash, it means that it's a comment. It denotes a comment. So this is to assign value or to initialize value. You can initialize the variable. You can initialize or assign value to the variable. It can be also called as assignment statement. This is assignment statement, assigning the value, assign value 5 to variable I, correct? What is this one doing? This assigns value 5 to variable I. This declares variable I. This declares variable I. It's putting it in capital letter. Okay, variable I as integer. Jahad, you are always unmuting. Okay, let me just go back. Okay, what we have here, this is in space I. What is this one doing? This simply declares a variable. Now, if you wanted to be very specific, you are declaring variable I here as integer data type. In here, what do we have? We are assigning value 5 to variable I. I think everybody knows this. Okay, an example? Any question? Any question, class? No. No. Okay, these are very simple. Now, let's move on to the next slide. Now, what about data types? What are data types? If we are to declare a variable, as you see, the first word you are going to put, if you are declaring a variable, are the data types. So remember, class, data types are some of the examples of your keywords or reserved words. Therefore, for you to know whether your data types are spelled correctly or your data types are correct, it must be bright blue color. Okay? In data types, you can determine what kind of value you are saving in your variable. So there are two groups of data types in Java. What are these two groups of data type in Java? The first group is called as primitive data types. There are 8 primitive data types in Java. Okay, so if you notice here in this description, 6 of them are numbers. Where are those 6 data types which will store numbers? Look at this. You store number, 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 number. So there are 6. Where are those number data type? Let me just put it in same color. So I will put number data types to be in pink color or purple. Okay, so where are our purple color? So these are our purple color. What are these data types? These data types are your numeric data types, meaning these data types will allow you to save numbers, but with different types. Look at this. The size itself are different. So what are the basic or primitive data types which will allow you to display numbers or store numbers rather? So I have byte, short, int, long, float, and double. Okay. From this first 4 will allow you to display whole number. Look at this. This will save whole number. So meaning no decimal point. Look at that, huh? Look at the ranges. No decimal point from byte, short, int, and long. Okay? They only differ in terms of their size. If you don't need to save too long value, then maybe you just need the values -128 to +127. Let's say your age. You will never reach 100 years old, correct? So if you are just going to save age, then you can use byte, because byte will allow you to store from -128 to 127. So again, you have byte. This will all store whole number, but byte will allow you to store 1 byte. Short will allow you to 2 bytes if your value is a bit higher, like let's say your salary. Your salary may not be more than 32,000 Omani Reals unless you are talking about annual or yearly salary. But if it's monthly salary, 32,000 will be too much. So maybe you can use short. And then you have int also. Int will store 4 bytes, and this is the range. And if your number is very, very long, you want to store long values such as these values, maybe in the bank. Okay, look at this. Maybe in stock market or in banking system, maybe they need long numeric values. You can use 8 bytes or long data type. Or maybe your mobile phone. Mobile phone can be with integer, no problem. So again, this first 4 numeric data types will allow you to store numbers without decimal point. And they are differ only in terms of their sizes. Okay? And the second 2 or the second group will be still part of the 6 numeric data type. They are those with fractional numbers or numbers with decimal point. What are these numbers? It can be 4 bytes or 8 bytes. And what are these data types? You can store float or you can store double data type. So this will be with decimal point. If you are storing 6 to 7 decimal digits, then you can use float. But if you want longer decimal digit, maybe 15, up to 15, sufficient for 15, you can use double data type. Okay, so they are differ only in terms of their size. So these are your 6 numeric data types. These are your primitive data types. There are 8. But for numeric primitive data types, there are 6 of them. Byte, short, int, long, float, and double. Okay, moving on, we have 1 character data type and 1 data type which is, I'll put that in red color. So we have the character data type. The character data type is char. Of course, everybody knows what is char. Char will store 2 bytes of single character. Okay, no much inquiry on that. And then we have also 1 Boolean data type, which will allow you to store, okay, let me keep that in green color. Boolean will allow you to store true or false value. Boolean values, true or false. The values are this one, okay, true or false. There are only 2 values for your Boolean data type, and it will store 1 bit, that's 0 or 1, represented in the main memory of the computer, but the value will either be true or false. So these are the 8 primitive data types in Java. So we have 6 numeric data types, you have 1 Boolean data type, and you have 1 character data type. Okay. So we have already variables and data types. So variables are declared like this. Data type, space, followed by the variable name. When you declare variable, you can also have the variable initialization or assignment statement that gives the value of the variable. You can initialize it using the assignment operator equal. And then you have here on this slide the 8 primitive data types in Java. There are other data types in Java. What are these other data types in Java? They are called as the non-primitive data types. The very common example of non-primitive data type is the string. String is a sequence of character. Like say you would like to store your name. This is a string. You can declare and initialize a string through the use of the keyword or data type string. So you can have string followed by the name of the variable. This is an example. So let me just mark it with brighter color. Okay, so let me just have this color. I hope you can see this. There you have. This is an example of non-primitive data type. This is going to be starting with capital letter. Unlike the previous data type, look at this primitive data types class. This will all be in bright blue color. In fact, if you are going to see them in your program, this will be in bright blue colors. Okay, all this will become bright blue color. Let me change that. This will become like this color. Let me show you like this one, or even brighter than this. This is going to be their color. If you are going to type this in your program, this will become their color. But if you are going to use string data type, the color will be a bit darker. Okay, like this one. Okay, the data type, string data type will become this color, and you notice that it is starting with capital letter. Why? Because this is an example of non-primitive data type. This is not a common data type. It's created for you to use in Java programming. Example of declaration with string data type is string followed by this variable name. Now, it's also given an assignment statement. So you have message. The message is equal to hello world. Okay, this is an assignment statement and variable declaration. You can also write it in one line like this one. You see this? It can also be written in a single line. In a single line, which is string message followed by message equal to hello world. So message is hello world. You can just put this in single line or put this in two lines like this one. Long cut, short cut. You can separate it like this one. Declare the variable first and then assign or initialize the value, put the message, or you can put it together in just one single line or in just single line ended with semicolon also. So string message equal to the message which you want it to have, like this one, hello world. So these are the available data types in Java. So you have here your first group, which is the primitive data type. There are 8 of them, and we have added the non-primitive data type, which is the string data type. There are other non-primitive data types which you can use, but in the meantime, the basic or the most commonly used non-primitive data type is the string data type. Any question, class, regarding variables and data type? Any question?
No, teacher.
No. Okay, let's move on with this first exercise. It says here, write a program about employee information. So we are to declare variable for the employees such as ID, employee name, salary, department code, and others. You can use multiple data types. Maybe the ID you can use byte or short. For the employee name, you can use string, of course, because it's a sequence of character. For salary, you can use, of course, double because it's a monetary value. Department code can be a character, and others, you can apply it with employee information system. Or you can have store or shop information system. You can have the store code, name of the store. You can have the brand, sales amount, this is money, products, prices, and many other things. Or any information system you want. You want to create program for the college system, you can do that. Registration system, you can do that. This is going to be your first exercise. Okay, I'm going to give you an example which can be your pattern for this exercise. Okay, class, you will submit this. This is your exercise number 1. It's going to be marked. So right now itself, I'm telling you already that you will need to submit this. So I'm going to give you an example similar to the pattern which you will use for this exercise. So in this exercise, we will be covering already, of course, print line method, variables, and data type. All of this will cover this particular topics. Okay, and of course, the Java tokens will all be there. Any question, class? Operators are not there yet. Any question, class? Okay, on my screen, I am showing you the last program which we had, the very simple sample one that displays different types of value. This displays a string, my first Java program, and then this displays a string also enclosed in double quotes. This displays the name, and then this is the ID number. These are numbers without decimal point. This is number with decimal point, and this is a character value. Okay, I may also write a Boolean value here. So let me just have system.out.println so that we will have the basic data type. I can have here true, meaning, or let me have false. Did I eat my breakfast already? Not yet. Okay, I shall put here false value. So we have here the sample one, which we have demonstrated in the previous class. Now I'm going to create sample number 2, which will have variables and data types. So let me create new project. You can put it on the same project, but it's easier for you to locate if they are in different projects. So I will have Java, right? And then Java application, and then click on next. Okay, so this is now our Java application 3, or let me have it as sample 2 variable, or sample, and I just have sample variable. So this is now the name of my project. I have sample variable. Now the previous location which I have assigned, my previous program, is still the same location, which is here. So once you have already chosen the location which you want your program or projects to be saved, it will still be there unless you change it here in this location. You can browse the location which you want. So the same name is going to be written here. So sample variable, and then I click on finish. That's all. Okay, let me now have my program which will have sample variable. So the same thing as we will always get, you can just remove this, okay, for you not to be disturbed. Are you seeing my screen very clear? You're seeing it?
Yes.
Okay, good. You can program with me as I write a program. You can follow me also. Okay, now let's declare a variable. I would like to show the same program which we have in here. So instead of displaying this fixed value in just println command, I will store the name in a variable. I will store the ID number in variable. I will store this in variable, and this in variable. Let me just exchange this. Okay, I will have my ID first before the name. Let me just put and okay. So for me to have first an integer value before the name. All right. So again, I have here the ID number, the name, the salary, the department code, and whether I am senior lecturer or not. I'll just put here false. Okay, so let's go back to our program. Let's try to save our program in variable names using the same example I have in here. So first, let me just put a label for me to have it more descriptive. So I'll have system.out. See, I don't even need to type it. You can be able to have the correct syntax because it's having IntelliSense. Look, after I type system, I click dot. See, it will be there. Okay, so you should not misspell. Double click on that, print or period, and then click the print line which you want. So I just want this one, which is very common. So I have also the semicolon afterward. Then just put here the label which you want. Let me type, this is sample with sample variables and data, or sample Data types and variable. Data types and variables. Okay, so let's have that label now. Now, what is the syntax of declaring variable? The syntax to declare a variable is data type first. If we are to save the value for this one, this is number, okay, whole number, so without decimal point. I can put 3628 so that it's shorter. So in this case, I can use short data type, correct? What is the data type which can be allowed to store this one? I think short will be enough. Or you can use int also because that's the one which is common and this is the one which you know. So I have SID or staff ID. So I can have staff ID like this one. Okay. What's wrong with this variable declaration? Why is it giving me red? What's wrong with the variable? Because I'm using this symbol. This symbol is, yes, you can put underscore and do not use minus symbol because minus symbol is used as arithmetic operator for minus. Or you can make it shorter like SID. Done? Okay. And then let me assign SID. SID equal to, what's the value I have given there? I have given there as 3628. So copy, go back here and paste. Or you can type it. So I have now the declaration. So this is to declare and this is to initialize. To initialize or to assign value. Okay, this is of value or assignment of value. This is declaring a variable. So I'm just putting a description for you to know what these lines are all. Variable space with SID. This is user defined, and then for you not to misspell, you can copy and paste this one. Okay, and then let me try to display it. If it will display the same we have in the previous example. So we have print line. All right, so I will display SID. What it will display is the stored value here. The stored value which we have given here is 3628. So this should display only 3628. Let's try to run this program. So what do we have? The first line displays this line number 4, which shows only sample, data types, and variables. So we have that. Yes, that's our first output line here. And then we also have the second print line method, which displays SID. What is the SID given here? The SID given here is 3628. Okay, look at the difference between these two systems that print line class. This print line method displays what? Displays string, and so I have enclosed it with double quotes. If I will remove this, you will get error. Why? Because the syntax to display string should be enclosed with double quotes. So look at that. It is expecting a symbol, and that symbol cannot be found here. What symbol is that? We know already that if it's a string output, then you have to enclose it with double quotes, unless it's a variable name like this one. It looks a string, but it's actually a variable name. Okay, this print method or print line method displays value of the variable. I do not need to put double quotes here. If I put double quotes here, it will not retrieve the value of the variable. Instead, it will consider it as a string output because you have enclosed it with double quotes, right? What will be the output if I have that? Al-Anud Said. What will be the output of this line number 9? Al-Anud Said.
Yes, teacher.
What is the output of this line, darling? A while ago, I don't have this double quotes, and it retrieves 3628. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see.
Yes, okay. Now, if I'm going to put double quotes here, what's going to be the output? The output will become
SID.
SID, not 3628. Okay, let's see if Al-Anud is correct. See that? It's displaying now the message as ID, not anymore the value. Okay? So I hope you have seen the difference between that. Now let me just return it back, and it's displaying 3628. Okay? So let's have the second line now. The second line, which is displaying our name, Rubelin. Okay, now let me teach you another example class. If I want my output to be showing like this, let's say S staff ID is 3. What shall I do? If I want this to have a message together with the value of the variable, let's say I will put the message staff ID and then I'll put colon. Okay, I will have the plus symbol. Okay, what's this syntax? Same as this syntax here. You are combining the message with a variable's value together with the plus symbol. So this is now the second use of your plus symbol. This plus symbol allows you to concatenate this string value with the value of the variable. Have here the message, and then I will combine the value of SID. So this will display staff ID followed by colon and space, and it will retrieve the value which is stored here, 3628. So a while ago, I have put only SID without any label at all, and it's showing me only the value, 3628. But now I have put the label so that it becomes more descriptive or readable. Then it should display staff ID colon and then 3628. Let's see and prove that. Okay, there you have staff ID colon 3628. Now let's continue with the other data types. What should be the data type I will use for Rubelin? Can you tell me? What should be the data type I'll use for Rubelin? What data type is this?
String.
String, very good. Others can answer also. Others can participate. So I'll have now string. Okay. And then I will have, let's say, S name for staff name. S name equal to, I must enclose this literal value with double quotes. Plus, this is data type. This is identifier or variable name. This is the literal. Okay? So these are some elements of Java program. Tokens, Java tokens. So I have two lines of declaration here. I have declare and initialize at the same time. Can I put it in one line only? How will I put this in one line? Similar to our example a while ago. If I want to put it in one line, what shall I do?
Just do print without ln.
Without ln, no. I want this declaration, line number 10 and 11, to be just one step. To have it in one step, what I will do
Delete the
is,
name.
yes, delete the name of the variable and just move it like that. Okay? So you can have two lines or single line like this one. Okay? Now let me display the name. So I will have system. Plus, you can program with me if you have already your, I'll have print line. Okay, I'll follow this syntax. So I may just copy and paste it so that we will be fast. So staff name, and then I will have this. Always copy and paste your variable name. Control C, Control V. Or select, right click, copy, and then put here, paste. Or it's easier. Select, Control C, then put here, Control V. There you have. So this will display staff name and then Rubelin. So let me run. So we have now here our second value or third line of output, staff name, Rubelin. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So the next variable is what data type I will use here. I want Khadija, Khalid. What data type I will use for this one? This is numbers with integral part decimal places. Khalid, what data type we will use for this one? In, it's with decimal point. If it's with decimal point, what shall we use? Others can help. What shall we use if it's with decimal point? Float or double. Okay, let's try. I have that as the salary. Okay, I will put assignment statement now. I'll just put 500 semicolon. Okay, and then you can in fact copy and paste this so that you will be fast. See, if you know how to copy and paste, it's very simple. So I can have this as basic. Let's say this is basic salary. All right, can you see? Plus, you can all see. Then I'll copy and paste. Can you see? I have some error here. Look, incompatible. Look at this. It's not accepting float. Okay? It says incompatible. You change from float to double. So let's just try double because it's not accepting. Now it doesn't have error anymore. So we have now our double data type. So we have applied here in string and then double. Let's run that. There you have. I have the basic salary and then the basic salary is being displayed there. Okay, let's have the other one. Let's translate this. What data type I should use here?
Character.
Character, not character, it's car. Car, and then let's have it as our department code. And then it's a character, so therefore I should enclose in single quotes. So single quotes, but then, sorry, I may just select this, copy, and then paste. So what do we display here? We display here the department code, copy, copy, and I may just have this copied also so that I don't need to type it on department code. There you have your department code, which is I for IT. Let me run and show you the output. There you have department code is equal to I. I think everyone now is learning. I hope everyone is learning from this. And then we have the last one. What data type I must use here? Tell me please.
Boolean.
Boolean, very good. I have only one student. Others can answer also. I want to hear other voice. Boolean, and then I will have, I will just put here with PhD. Okay, for example, if the staff is with PhD, okay, mine is false. I don't have PhD yet. Okay, I have it displayed. All right. So do I have PhD or doctoral degree? I don't have yet. Stop with PhD. Okay. And then with or without PhD, I'll put here. I don't have PhD, so I put it as false. Okay. Let me run that and show you. Okay. See? Stop with PhD. No, I don't have PhD yet. All right, I'm not Dr. Rubilin. I'm still Teacher Rubilin only. So I have it applied here. All the basic data type which you need for your lab exercise 1 or lab activity 1. So I have here an integer declaration. You can have your declarations in 2 lines together with the initialization, or you can have it similar to this line number 10. 1 full line with the declaration and assignment statement at the same time, which I have applied also for the salary, for the department code, and for the PhD declaration. So I have here how many data types we have applied? We have applied 4 primitive data types, which are int, double, char, and boolean. See? These are in bright blue color because they are keywords, including true or false here. For example, let me assume I have PhD. See that? I have changed it with true. Class, do not put it in double quotes because if it's in double quotes, it should be a string. See? It's going to have an error. See that? It's wrong. So if you want it in double quotes like that, put this as a string data type, not Boolean. Okay, now the correct values of Boolean data types are only true or false. And they are keywords. You can use only these two values. True or, a while ago, let me put it back. I don't have yet PhD, so I'll keep it as false. So there you have. I have also non-primitive data type, which is a string here. Okay, class, we have mentioned other data types also, which will handle whole number. Let me try short here. Will short be enough for me to save this value? Yes, I think so. Okay, because it's only 3628. It's very short value. Let me try if I am allowed to use short data type for this one. Int is also okay. Short is okay. See, it doesn't have any error at all. What if I'll put 0? 36028. Let me run that. It's not allowing. Okay. So it's not enough. Okay. So let me just put that back. What if I'll put now integer? Because integer is up to 32,000. No? Because this is like 300. If you are going to check it like numeric value, it's like 306,028. What if I'll put int here? And it's with 0, 0. Let me run that just to demonstrate to you. See now, it's accepting. Okay, so it depends on the value, what you are going to store in that variable. It depends on what the data type you are going to use will depend on the value you are going to store. So if I'll put this as 3628 only, I am allowed to use short data type. Let me run and show you. See that? It's accepting. But if I'll put 3060, it's not allowing. Why? Because the range is not within this short data type. So to do that, let's change it to int data type. And if you are going to put int data type, it will allow it here. There you have. Okay. Now let me put back in short so that you have short data type example. So let me put that in short. Will it allow me? Yes, it's allowing. Okay, so these are your variables and data type. I'd like to tell you something also. A while ago, we have told that variables should start with letters or alphabet, small letters or capital letter. You can also start with $sign, like this one. Can I put $sign here? Is it allowing? It's not. If I put $sign there, then my variable is this one. So that I know that it's money. See, I can start with $sign. Okay, I can start with letters like this one. I'm starting with letter S. I'm starting with letter S. A while ago, S also. It's alphabet. Or I can start with $sign like this one. I can also start with underscore. See, I have here underscore. No problem with that. Variables can start with letters or alphabet. You can also start with underscore, or you can also start it with $sign. Can I start it with number? Okay, let's say I will put here 3 department code. Is this okay? Can I start with?
No.
No.
No, see, I have an error here. It says in the rule that only start with letter, underscore, or $sign. So if you have to put that, then it's wrong. Can I have this variable name? Department space code. What's wrong here?
You put it
The space.
Space are not allowed. Don't put space anymore. Or if you want to really denote a space in between that, you put underscore in between. So put underscore in between, no error anymore. Okay, clear? You see that? Okay, so those are some basic rules. And a while ago, we have tried symbols. Like say, can I put here star? What's wrong if I put here star? It's wrong, no? Why is it wrong? Because it's an operator. Very good. You cannot use operator as variable name. Okay, let me run this. All of those rules are applied here, and I don't see any error at all. Okay, let me run that and show you that it's still working properly. Okay, maybe you would have thought that, oh no, teacher, it's the same program it's applying. Let me put my surname. I have Rubilin Padillo. See, It's still accepting. I have Rubilin Padillo, meaning even with all of those symbols I have put, your program is still working perfectly, working very fine and correctly. So I have the same output as we had a while ago. Any question, class? Are there any
Yes,
questions?
teacher.
Yes, tell me there. Who's that? Okay. Who wants to ask? Al Anud Said. Tell me, Al Anud Said.
Why you put it glass and show me, teacher, NetBeans?
Yes, this one. Why did I?
Yes. Why the uh,
Line number. Tell me which line number.
line number 8?
Okay, line number 8. Yes, this one. Yes.
Why you put
Plus.
plus?
Plus, yeah, this is part of syntax. This is to combine different data types. Okay? You can combine or concatenate this string output with this message, or sorry, you can combine this string output or this message with value of the variable, which is integer. Okay, and the syntax for that is system.out.println. Inside the parentheses, you will have these parameters. You will have the string message, and then you combine it with this one. Okay, variable. Message, which is in string, concatenate or combine it with the value of the variable. Like this, no? This is a string combined with the name, which is also a string. But I will just retrieve this value. So I don't need to put this word anymore. I can also combine that using plus, but we are explaining about variable here. That's why we are concatenating. So concatenating the message or the string output with value of variable is through the use of the plus symbol or concatenation symbol. So there are two uses now of plus. The first one, no, three uses. You can have it as addition. You can have it as unary operator for positive value, like this one, no? This is using plus, no? Or combination. So three uses now of plus symbol. To add, to concatenate, or to put it as positive value. Question? Other questions?
No, teacher.
No more? Okay. So, will you try, please? Will you try to declare any two variable with data types and variables, and then you assign the value? Okay. Can you please try now? I want you to try in your NetBeans IDE. I'd like you to try at least two variable declarations with system.out.println. So, what are the steps you will do? Declare and initialize in two steps or in single step like this. You can have long cut or shortcut, 2 lines or single line. After that, I want you to try displaying your name. I want you to do for student. So you declare student ID and display student ID. I want you to declare and assign your student name and then display it. I want you to assign your allowance or your salary. You have also salary, no? Or you have your allowance. Declare and assign and then display. Okay? Can you do that? And then for department code, put your gender. And then this one, you can put here if you are probation or not. With probation, you put false. If with probation, you put true. Probation. If you are under probation. Can you do that? I'm going to wait. Okay, let me stop recording now and I'm going to wait your solution here. I'd like you to try. You still have like 10 minutes. Just try 1 or 2 variables and then I want you to send your screenshot.